Hey guys, it's Hans Hobbies, and today I have a review of the Carisma Scale Adventure SCA1E. This is their 1/10 scale trail truck or crawler, and you can get it in a variety of body styles and versions. You can get the Coyote, which is kind of their own design, like not licensed truck body. And you can get that Coyote in either an RTR or a kit. You can get this Range Rover here as either an RTR or a kit. And then there's also like a limited edition kit version with like metal beadlocks that are the OEM wheel style, which is pretty cool. Or you can also get it as an RTR with or without batteries. And then you can also get it as a Subaru Brat. So a lot of variety here, a lot of different versions here. So that's pretty cool. The original Coyote that came out is a little bit of a different design. It has the servo on the axle, whereas this is the updated version of the Coyote chassis. So it has the chassis mounted servo, but we'll see that when I take the body off in a second. The overall body of this Land Rover, I think looks really good. It's very scale. The body is molded very well. Some of the details like the door handles and stuff, the stickers here that are kind of low detail, that I knock it a little bit for that, but the rest of the scale details on here makes this thing look absolutely fantastic. The mirrors, side mirrors are included. You do have to put those on separately. Even has the little clear plastic pieces here for the side blinkers. You can put those on as well. And then the RTR version, oops, the body came out for a little bit. The RTR version comes with the fog lights and these blinker lights covered up with a solid sticker, like printed sticker, but it does include these clear stickers on here, so you can replace them if you want to put lights in and want it to light up properly. And this like molded plastic grill and the bumper and all these scale details make this thing look pretty realistic overall, and has a overall very nice presence. This is not how the truck looks out of the box. I did make some changes. A lot of the stickers on here are my doing. The black trim here is usually a sticker, but I peeled all that off and then painted it because I think it looks better. And also the sticker tends to peel off and doesn't look as good. The black here on the hood, it was also changed. I also took the sticker off that was in the light buckets and also painted them silver, so that looks much nicer, and then obviously changed out these decals. And then I also added the included rear bumper on here, so I can have those shackles and the hitch. Also, it keeps the body from getting caught a lot on obstacles and stuff. So really nice that included bumper fits nice and scale under the body, so that looks pretty cool. There is also a front bumper included, but I decided not to put it on just because I like the look of this Range Rover a lot. The paint is done pretty decently. It's a little bit light, so if you do put lights and stuff in it, it will kind of seep through. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but not a huge deal. If it bothers you a lot, you can always mask this and then paint the inside black too. So you have a little bit more protection from light showing through. But with all that said, let's take the body off and take a look at the chassis. So even down here, you're going to see a few changes, but I will talk about that. The overall design of this truck is kind of a hybrid between the SCX-10-1 and the SCX-10-2. So the way the chassis set up, like steel ladder frame, that's all like standard crawler stuff these days. But it has a center mounted transmission with a 35 turn brushed motor. Slipper clutch is also installed on here. And that's very like SCX-10-1. But up here, the battery tray and the chassis mounted servo looks very similar to the SCX-10-2. And then coming back here with the bumper mount, that's also very reminiscent of the SCX-10. And then down here, the axles are not scale-looking axles. They look kind of similar to the original SCX-10 axles, though they are a little bit smoother and a slightly different construction. But yeah, not very scale axles, but they look like they will perform pretty well. They're nice and smooth and rounded, so they won't get hung up on anything. It also has metal links both front and rear, top and down, and also has steel drive shafts out of the box with universals, which is very, very nice. The diffs are obviously have lockers in them, and the skid plate here is not completely flat, so that might bother some people. But we'll talk about performance later. The front two shocks on my truck were binding and sticking pretty badly, and other people with these Carisma shocks seem to have the same issue. So quality control seems like it could be improved, and they may need to be rebuilt or replaced. The ESC that is included is not this Hobbywing quick run unit. It is a Carisma unit, but I will talk about why this Hobbywing unit is here. As you could probably guess, it is no longer functional, but it is listed on the box to be waterproof, so we will be definitely testing that later. The waterproof receiver box here, we'll be testing the waterproofness of that as well. And the wheels and tires that come with it are not these. These are some wheels and tires that I put on it. The wheels and tires that come with it are these. They look pretty nice. They're a beadlock design. And the tires are not the softest, but they're not hard either. They work pretty decently. The wheel looks like a 1.55 wheel. The box listed as a 1.9, and it's technically not false advertising because if you look on the back, it is a 1.9 wheel. So it is one of those like short course style wheels. So unfortunately, if you want to use the stock wheels, you have to use the stock tires, which kind of sucks. And then the radio that it comes with is this CTX 8000 unit. Decent radio system. Only takes 4 AA's like everything else these days. And it feels kind of plasticky and cheap, but overall does feel pretty nice and is a pretty decent radio. So this Range Rover, I really wouldn't consider a rock crawler. I would consider it more of a trail truck, especially with the relatively large body as well as the small wheels and tires. It's not going to do very well on like a comp crawling course, but it looked and performed pretty well on this little walking trail. There were a lot of big roots to climb over, and it was quite a joy to watch this thing go and to drive this thing. It was actually quite fun. I've had a lot of other trucks on the same trail, and a lot more capable trucks were a little bit boring here, but the fact that it does have the smaller wheels and tires means that even these roots and stuff becomes a little bit more of a challenge and becomes a little bit more entertaining to drive and just experience. But with that said, if you're looking for a really high performing crawler out of the box, there may be some changes that need to be made, especially compared to some of its competition. The main points are the body, while it looks nice, and that front bumper, while it looks very nice, it is kind of the stock front bumper, even on the real truck, so it's kind of a street bumper. So as a result, it will get caught on obstacles, as you can see here, a little bit. So that can be remedied, thankfully, by the off-road bumper that is included in the kit or in the RTR. The other problem is the skid plate. The center skid plate is not completely smooth and flat, so it does get caught and stuck a little bit like this. So that is something that might annoy some people, but it does have enough wheel spin to get it out of sticky situations. The box lists this truck as waterproof, so I wanted to really test that, so I couldn't resist plunging it into this pool. While it did perform well in the water, a little bit after this, both the ESC and the receiver were malfunctioning, and I confirmed that they were both broken on the bench later. Some other issues that I noticed were that there's a lot of torque twist on this guy. So you can see while it's climbing this pretty steep hill, the whole body and the whole chassis just leaned over to one side, and it made a really annoying rubbing on the fender. But speaking of hills, here I'm showing you how steep this hill actually is, because it really doesn't show well on camera how steep off-road terrain is sometimes. So this is quite a steep hill, and I was actually quite impressed with the truck here with the hill climbing, the front biased battery tray, and a lot of weight up front really helped it in a lot of hill climbing situations. So it definitely has a plus there. And despite having pretty realistic articulation, aka not a lot, it still got over most of the obstacles that I threw at it, and it looked really good while doing it. As far as these tires, they aren't the best. You can see they do slip quite a bit, especially after getting dirt on them. But again, this thing has enough wheel spin to really get over any sort of drawback that the tires show. And wheels and tires are something that's pretty easy to replace. As you saw earlier, I replaced mine with the 1.55 wheels and tires. None of the running video shows those tires, but it is at least kind of realistic, I think, to show a little bit of wheel spin. You know, I don't know. I kind of enjoy driving like slightly lower performing tires. I just find it a little more challenging and a little more realistic and enjoyable. But that's just me. But my overall thoughts of the Carisma SCA1E, it's a pretty confusing name, is it's a great looking truck. At around $350, it's a decent value. It comes with all the metal links and a lot of stuff that some of the other kits don't really come with. So it's a pretty good, decent deal. Includes a battery for the truck and the transmitter. So and it has a lot of scale details. And overall, looks very good. The waterproofing is a little bit iffy. Maybe it was a fluke, I'm not sure, but that's something I would watch out for. But I would definitely recommend this truck for anyone that's a Land Rover fan, Range Rover fan, or just someone that's trying to find a budget-friendly trail truck or a crawler to hang out with your friends or just get into the hobby. So, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and all that. Subscribe on like a YouTube Shenanigans, and I'll see you guys next time.